Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to DG360. We're having our Star Citizen After Dark, and we are also going to be calling our winner tonight. Too bad you couldn't be here if you're on YouTube. We're having a blast. A Hall E to one lucky winner that is a supporter here on this channel. You too can be entered into our giveaways automatically just by going down in the description below and becoming an alumni member. Thank you for your consideration. Let's check out what this dude has to say. Luke Stevens, who says, Star Citizen has raised $700 million. So I tried it again. Okay. Is that that's the reason why you're trying it again? Because it raised 700 million. So it's a little bit sus. I don't know why you like what ooh. Okay.
Well, everyone, right. Here we are in Star Citizen once again. This is the game of all games that has currently raised over $700 million. I'm not even making that up. They have raised $700 million, and this game isn't even out yet.
Oh boy, I'm gonna hold on a second. Is this what we're getting at here? Hold on. Is this what we're getting at here?
Warning, incoming salad vibes.
Clickety clack, man. Clickety clack, clickety clack. Here we go.
Like, I'm not joking.
First off, why does everybody make it sound like $700 million is a lot to make a game these days anyway, when you know a lot of titles have actually taken more money to make out there, and it just seems like one of those big headline kind of things, people say it like, can you believe this? People that say this don't understand the scope, they don't understand the scale, and they have not been involved with the project long enough. Like this guy says in his own title, he's trying it again. So, obviously stepped away from it, probably doesn't know too much about the project, probably gonna go with the clickety clack so he can get paid, so he can get the views, and just go with the easy money. That's what a lot of the YouTube creators do these days, man. They just go where the money's the easiest. Hey, let me make an outrage video, because if I'm outraged and people's gonna click on it, and then I get my YouTube ad money, which is actual bullshit, because YouTube doesn't even pay you anything.
Joking, you can't like go buy a retail version of this game. It doesn't exist yet. It's been in development for like over a decade, and who knows when we'll actually see it really launch, if it ever does. But I am playing it here today because I want to see just what is actually available to those people who have spent so much money on the game. Now, I've done videos covering Star Citizen before. It's a game that I find just fascinating in all manner of ways. Not only is it technically speaking a very, very impressive package here, and there is a reason why they spent and raised so much money, but also she never said that. Promises to be something that I do think a lot of people connect with. As you can see, I'm flying around a city. This is a very large city. I actually collected this ship.
What kind of comment is that? What kind of comment is that? It's a game that a lot of people connect with. No shit. It's like it's brought in $700 million. You think, Einstein? Wow, what a statement.
From a hangar, and then I took off after waking up in a small apartment I lived in. And as you can see, though, so I can actually climb up into the atmosphere.
I'm just a dude with
and
sunglasses.
I
look douchey,
go
so
mad trying to get out of orbit. And if I flip the view around here, you can see I'm just going straight up.
Oh, cool.
And leaving the city behind. And you'll notice something interesting. I'm leaving the atmosphere. I'm actually taking off and going into space. And as I continued to
wait. So I tried it again. When is the last time this motherfucker played Star Citizen, man? like I'm actually leaving the atmosphere. Like when is
blast off and go higher and higher and higher. This will continue to get even crazier. Let me just show you.
Right, Mad Style. What's up, Mad Style? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and talk with you coming up next week. On the merch, bro.
And just like
We'll get
that,
this shit
we are
done.
actually in high Earth orbit of this planet, and we can actually look around, and literally anywhere on its surface we could travel to. There are no limits. It is literally an open world game, but not just an open
Yeah, we're gonna have
world
fun with
game.
that shit,
It's an
Matt, style.
open
We're gonna have fun with it.
solar system game. It'll eventually
Just
be open galaxy,
whenever,
I
your own
guess.
time,
It's supposed to
and
be
you're gonna
a
get
massive
hooked up, bro.
universal sim game effectively, and it's just ridiculous. Like, as you can see right now,
Maybe,
I'm
Sketch.
on this planet.
Give him a second, Sketch.
And
Jesus,
if I
you're
want to
wild
go
out tonight,
over,
Sketch. Settle
maybe
down, bro.
here,
Somebody give Sketch a
I
Quaalude,
can select
man.
that,
He's like, he's
route
going
to
out. He's
it,
going to town tonight.
and then it calculates
is
the
very
route,
angry
expected like travel
Rowdy.
times and all that, the fuel needed, all that good stuff. And then if I'm good to go with that, I can
don't
close
think you
this
did,
menu
you-
down, and then I can start to basically warp there once I'm out of orbit. Okay, so once we are calibrated and spooled to that point, we can actually warp
Sketch.
there. And if I go and zoom out just a tad, assuming the game doesn't crash,
But this is really painful
which
to watch.
it might. Not a great
No,
sign.
no offense against
There
this
we
guy. He's
go.
got
Okay.
500,000 subscribers.
There we
He's
go.
doing something
$700
right.
million, ladies and gents. You can see I'm actually warping in real time, traveling to this other planet as we go. Now, if I pull up that menu again
Orson
that showed
says
the
too,
little
you
map,
have
you
to
can see
watch.
how far we're actually
Yes,
traveling.
Orson.
And you can
You
see the
guys picked
distance
it.
we're
We gotta
going
watch
is
it.
quite vast, which will buy me a little bit of time. Now, because this game is trying to do more of a
He's
realistic
got a great
space
studio.
sim thing.
I'm completely jelly of the studio, you know, like really. This is like 500,000 subscribers swag, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at all this. It's great. Kuwanu's gonna get him, huh?
Oh, get out of here. Kuwatu DG. Kuwatu DG says you're salad vibes.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
It's much more grounded, so it will actually take you a long time to travel places. In this case, as you can see, it's telling me that journey I established was an estimated 4 minutes and 22 seconds roughly. And that means it will actually take 4 minutes and 22 seconds to get there. If I play the game, get materials, upgrade my engine and stuff like that, that can go much, much faster. And you're capable of going to much farther planets much, much more reasonably and not having to spend so much time in travel. But this is not like a Starfield sort of light sci-fi
God.
sim where loading is
No. This is not. This is definitely not one of those things for real. Don't. Yeah, not even
Shame.
close, everybody.
Shame.
That's shameful.
Shame.
That's shameful for the analogy. That's a terrible thing. That was shameful.
a second or two and then you're there,
I'll make it
and
exciting,
it's all about
Stunner,
quick
like I
travel.
always do.
This is a game
That's-
where
I'm
if
an
you want
enhancer.
to
I'm
play
an
it
enhancer.
and you want to experience a space sim, it's gonna ask some stuff of
I'll
you,
enhance
namely that
along the
you
way.
take it relatively seriously and you spend a lot of time in it. You can tell in this time that we've been talking already, we've traveled this far, but it's going to take another few minutes to actually get there. So while we're there, let's talk about
I never
Star
want that to
Citizen
change.
as a whole. Also, just real quick, make sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoy it. It helps me out a ton, and it would make...
By the way, these travel times where people are saying they need to stop with the amount of times, just tell these people to shut up. You know, like when you're hearing people that say, oh, these travel times are too long, these travel times are too long, tell those people to shut up, because like when it comes down to fleet battles, that's when it's really important. Like organizations against other organizations, like tactical gameplay, like that's when those timings become very valuable, and it becomes a chess game, and that is a very fun. So for people that are like, oh, this stuff takes too long, you know, like I get it, because we're at this development stage, and I get it. I get why people are voicing like that, because there's a lot of people that say, oh, let's just get to places faster, to point A to point B, and it's just like no, because like the long term, right? Because people have a hard time looking farther out, you know what I mean? So like that's why it's important.
make me feel ooey gooey inside. So do that and I'll love you forever. Okay, back to it.
What's
so if
up,
you go
Rag?
to the actual website for
Welcome to
Star
the fam,
Citizen
bro.
development and then funding, you can see
Yes,
down here
exactly,
is
Matt,
the
so
actual
exactly.
total funds raised to this date.
Right, Eric, right.
$703
That's what it
million
feels like, right?
as of the moment this video is being
Thank
recorded.
you,
and that's
Stunner,
across
thank you.
5 million roughly citizens who have bought into this program. And you can see they even break it down by hour. So an hour ago, they made about $75,000 in an hour.
Okay, so what? Are we gonna focus?
And then here
we go.
Like 2 hours ago, they made $87,000.
This guy's just gonna watch the fucking chart all day, man.
You know, like, and here, 3 hours ago, they made $115,000. Now, if you go back to 4 hours ago, they made $84,606. Now, if you go back,
like, dude. No offense against this guy. I know I'm coming off like a giant douche. I mean, I have the sunglasses, you know, so I must be a douche. Thank you. Wow, thank you. Thank you for that subscription, Malau81. Appreciate you very, very much. Very, very much.
$1,000 in an hour. Like, the amount of money they're pulling in is wild. On the 28th, they pulled in probably $1.5 million. Same with the 27th. 26th was a pretty good day. They made maybe 2 million, maybe 1.9 million. The day before, on the 25th, though, that day popped off. Just under $3 million raised in a single day. And no matter which way you look at it, weekly, monthly, whatever, in November, they had a big event and they raised $28 million in a month. It's crazy. And again, this game isn't even out. You can see here we're approaching our destination.
Thank you.
Very quickly. We're coming in.
The gifting alert. I love them.
Maybe we'll get there in a second. You see the planet actually come into view. We've actually physically traveled this far, and when we get there, we'll see if we smash into it. And there we go. There we go. We are actually at this planet's surface, and you can see that there's actually like mountains off in the distance, and there's like clouds drifting off, as you can see there. There's God rays coming off of those clouds. It's crazy. And because this is an actual simulation of a solar system, effectively, all of these areas in dark are in nighttime, and all the areas in the sun are, of course, daytime. And if you go to the
did he just say that? Did he just say that? All the areas where the sun is not touching is dark, and all the areas where the sun is touching is light. What? There you go, Eric. Now it works. That's great, man. Yeah, my mind is completely blown.
Next time, it's gonna be
Thank you,
flat.
Eric. Something's going on. Something's wonky with the alerts tonight, but I super appreciate you. Thank you, Stunner, for those bits. You guys are so supportive and nice tonight. I'm being way too mean to this guy, but I mean, that was a funny statement.
all the places that are dark aren't being touched by the sun, and all the light parts are being touched by the sun.
Thank you. Thank you, Stunner. Thank you, Wooksy. Appreciate you.
Water is wet.
Du hast mich gefragt. Du hast mich gefragt. Du hast mich gefragt. Und ich hab nicht gesagt.
I love you. I love you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. Welcome to Star Citizen After Dark. If you're watching on YouTube, get your butts over here. It's a fun time every single Thursday. Start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Threshold, you'll see the sun setting and all of that. And that's not crazy novel. That's something like No Man's Sky or even Starfield had. But what they didn't have is the ability to land on a planet-sized planet, not a little one like No Man's Sky or a sort of collection of fishbowls like Starfield, but to be able to do that on a planetary scale and also do it in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to effectively
Good God,
point
how long
my
has this
ship
guy not
down,
played this game?
and we are going to just land on this planet surface somewhere where the sun will be setting, and we'll just do a time lapse so you can actually see what this.
I mean, truly, if this guy has not played Star Citizen in this long, where this is all new to him, I mean, we're talking at least 3 to 4 years, period. Even longer than that. He should be blown away right now. Like, he should be, it would assume, and you know what they say about assuming, but it would assume that this guy, that he's not seen any of this or played any of this. Like, his mind should literally be blown right now by seeing all of this, you know? But okay, all right, apparently, you know, okay.
This looks like in real time. No cuts, no edits. You can actually see that we can just land on the plane.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me around again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, no, no! I'm a rocket man!
Incoming salad vibes.
Rocket man! Burning out his fuse out here! Alone!
Ryan, look out!
And here we are, down on the planet's surface in real time. Nothing like tricky about it. We just went from another planet
just crashed
down
right into the planet.
to this planet. And if I just gently drop down, you can see we can land anywhere. It's a full-sized planet. And I need to try not to crash. That'd be a good idea. And if I just gently drop down, thank God for space headlights, right?
Land, dude.
I can just gently plop down.
Jesus.
And then if I go back into the cockpit, I can turn off the power to the ship, or maybe I leave it on for the headlights. Maybe that's
What's up,
maybe
E-Brad?
that's
How
the
you doing, buddy?
No, I'll just get out. I'll get out. Okay, so we hop out of the ship, and I'll go and show you. You can actually walk around the planet's surface. Now, of course, that took a little while to do.
My head's
This
hurting.
game, again, is trying to go more like realistic space sim as opposed to a gamified space sim. So it's not trying to be hyper
painful.
like twitchy or catered to the ADHD crowd. This definitely is a
I
game
don't
that's
know
more
what he's
grounded
doing,
and
E-Brad.
targeting an older group of players.
want me
But
to
you
tell
can
you what I
see just
think he's
how
doing?
impressive, technically speaking,
form of torture.
that is. Now, the big question, if you think anything like me, is now, cool, what's fun about it? Like, what do you do in this game? This is a cool tech demo, but like, what do you actually do? Have they spent $700 million just making procedural planets and a game that doesn't run very well? They have done that, and they've
Americans-
also added in a bunch of other gameplay systems.
American agencies like the CIA should use this video to crack to crack spies that we catch for intelligence, you know.
Now, your mileage on these is going to vary a lot because honestly, the game is kind of what you make of it. If you want to be a space trader and you want
Jesus.
to collect materials from one planet, travel and take them to another planet to sell them for more, and you do that to grind
How
up
does this-
and get better.
Excuse me, but like, I just got a question here. And again, like, I know I am being a giant asshole here. I know I'm being an asshole, but like, how does this video get 33,000 views? Like, really? Seriously? I'm really, yes, I am jealous. You know, that's fine. You could point your finger at me and be like, well, this motherfucking bald guy with sunglasses is just completely jelly and a giant asshole. But it's a legitimate question. Like when I'm seeing views just tack on as I speak right here. 33,000 views with this video. It's like, what is going on here? Like, what? I'm not understanding. This is craziness.
To run better ships and weapons and stuff. You can
Is it
do that.
Soggy?
That's totally
What's up,
viable.
Soggy? How you doing, by the way,
But
buddy? Good
you
to
kind
see
of
you,
have
man.
to make your own fun. There are other systems that
Is
play
it though?
here.
Or is it just the
There's, for
algorithm
example,
fucking
contracts
with
and
my
stuff,
head?
and these are sort of like
The
you know,
corpo
delivery. You
algorithm,
can
not
see
the cool
mercenary
algorithm like you guys.
contracts with like all sorts of combat built into it, because there are guns and combat, dogfights, stuff like that in the game. Delivery, salvage operations, that's one of the new things that they have. Research, priority, bounty hunter, all sorts of different missions.
We're not playing
even
the game
down
right
to
now,
racing, where you
Ostentatious. I
can
love you,
actually
bro, but
race
we're watching
your
the stream,
spaceships
man.
against other players'
At least I
spaceships.
think
It's
you
really
guys
cool.
are.
And to be clear, it doesn't have to be the most realistic or
Ostentatious
like
has game
miserable
questions
thing
right now.
possible. You can
I'm not in
actually
the game
streamline
currently,
a lot of
Ostentatious.
this. So, for
By
example,
the way, Ostentatious, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not currently in the game right now, Ostentatious. I can't answer your gaming questions right now, buddy. I'm kind of busy right now, man.
I was just trying to demonstrate how you can do all of this in real time if you want. The game actually
love
does
you,
let
bro,
you travel from
but I
planet to
can't help
planet
you right now.
uninterrupted, and it works. However, most of the time you're probably
Maybe
going to be
this guy
using
can,
the
though.
warp drive to
Maybe this guy's got a tutorial you can look up, Ostentatious. Dap says I need a drink. What's up, Diva? How you doing? Good to see you, Diva.
go pretty much from orbit to orbit and then down to a planet, city, or a landing zone that you're looking for. You're probably
We can
not
watch
going
one
to
of
do
them.
it in
We
this
do have
way
one
that
in
I
our,
did for this
Discord,
demonstration.
Ostentatious. We'll look
But
at it
I
after
think
this, I
for
promise.
demonstration
Just for you,
purposes,
buddy,
it at
'cause you're
least
an
proves the
alumni
point
member.
that the game empowers you to travel in that way. But without a doubt,
Oh,
you
it's
kind of have
terrible,
to
you're right. It's
make
a form of torture.
your own fun if you want to have a good time. And that's where sort of emergent stories take place. So, for example, I
Okay, like listen, listen. This guy, again, the way he's explaining it, it's probably one of the worst introductions to the game ever. I've been covering this for over 10 years, and I literally think after watching this that I may quit Star Citizen.
I've played this game on stream where I've opened it
Thank
up
you,
to
Limitless.
anybody to join me, and I landed on a random planet.
Oh.
And before long, a bunch of other people from our chat came in and started showing off their ships and their collection of different things that they had found in their escapades and all sorts of cool stuff. And they started showing all that to us. And then we did missions together. And at one point, somebody died in the course of our fun. And we took them up in the back of the ship and did a little space funeral. And I'll just play some clips of that here for you to see. We had a really, really good time.
Okay.
And none of it was like
All right.
carefully scripted, linear, cinematic.
Okay, he's now you can't fault him for that. He's sharing his experience now. He's sharing his Star Citizen experience. Okay, all right, might be getting better.
Stuff or carefully calibrated missions. We just kind of had fun in our own sandbox,
Nugget.
and that's honestly where I've had the most fun. I know
He could
some
be
people
mad
get
about
really into
bombs
like
too
the
as well,
role
Couch
play of
Nugget. He
being
could be.
a space pirate or this or that, and that's all great and fine and dandy. But I have had a lot of fun just making my own fun, dicking around and being an idiot that way, you know. But like, this is a great example of how you can quickly warp to things if you want to. So I warp to that spot. I can do the little warp drive, and then it's actually going to effectively fast travel, but it's actually physically moving me through
it was
space
a
at a
perfect
faster rate
experience.
using the warp drive on the ship. Now, because the game has so many moving parts and mechanisms that intertwine, it can be an extremely overwhelming game. And I think that's one of the major downsides of Star Citizen.
No. It's one of the major upsides of the game that, like, it depending upon what occupation or skill set you want to get into, you don't need to buy a skill book and just like put it on autoplay and then be skilled in the morning or a week from now or 2 weeks from now. Like, you actually have to know what you're doing if you want to be an engineer, you have to understand engineer gameplay, mining, you have to understand mining, you got to know the nuances of it. Could they do a better job of putting in like I don't know, more intuitive UI to help you with those tasks in the game, sure they could. But I don't want that. I don't want that gone out of the game, for God's sake. That's the whole draw to it, is that you got to be more intelligent to play this game, that you got to take the time out to learn what it is that's your craft, man. You know, for God's sake. Well,
listen right now. It feels like you need to have a PhD in how this game works to even start playing. And I think that's just unfortunate. Like, I would not have been able to really get into this game unless I had my audience there in chat to guide me, because it can be so freaking overwhelming. But once you get your...
Some of the best games I've ever played had crazy learning curves. And I know that's the way it is for most of my audience. You know, I know most of my audience here, we love those curves, man. We love curvy games. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Give us curvy games. Yeah.
Your feet under you, it's much more doable. But just understand, this is one of those games you're gonna need to like look up guides. I mean, even when I started filming this video, I couldn't get the N button to raise my landing gear, so I started Googling ferociously, trying to find what I was doing wrong. I was like, I could have sworn it was N to lift the landing gear and to oh, I crashed. I didn't see how close I was to the ground. That's my bad. I was distracted talking about landing gear. Anyway, even somebody like me who has played this game a fair bit, I've needed to go in and look up some of those guides and stuff just to figure out how things work. And so don't give yourself crap if you have to do the same thing. But I mean, you can see some of the crazy stuff players have pulled off while playing together in this compilation from Kalistar. You can see like just some crazy stuff that happened while they were doing missions, while they were working together. It's just outrageously cool what dynamic moments can happen in this ultimate space sandbox, which is really what this is. You know, some people will ask, what is Star Citizen? What is it trying to do? What's it trying to be? And it's tough to explain because it's trying to do so much, and
and there you go. It's the everything game. I coined it years and years ago, and you know, people get upset about that, but it truly is. We all the stretch goals, we wanted everything from this game. That's why it's taking so long. The scale is crazy absurd, and I love it. I love it. I love pain. I love it.
Honestly has not fully delivered on much of it. It's like 80% there.
That's again, here we go.
With some stuff, and then 90% on other stuff. Other things are at like 10%.
That's so vague.
So it's varied and it's difficult to describe, but fundamentally it is a spacefaring like adventure sandbox. It is a game that opens itself up to you and lets you kind of make your fun. And that's not for everybody. But if you are somebody that likes the idea of being able to get a spaceship and just fly across a galaxy and play with your friends and buy massive ships that have pools and basketball courts inside of them, you can do that and live out that space fantasy. And I think that that's pretty cool. One thing that is not super cool is just how expensive this game can be, especially when you consider that it's not even technically fully out yet.
Again, here we go with your victims for spending money. Like, you know, like we're not adults and can't understand like our discretionary funds and what we're going to put them up to. Like, we're all victims. Here we go with this narrative.
Or anything. You can play a beta effectively, but it's not fully released. And yet that has not stopped them from selling a $48,000 bundle.
Listen, and I've explained this 1,000 times. Yes, that is an absurd price to most of us. That is absolutely absurd for most of us because we can't afford it, okay? But there are people out there that have the discretionary funds to do such, and there's the option. And the reason why the game's brought $700 million in is because those options are there. So if these options were gone, the game wouldn't have the same type of funding, you understand? And if that's the case, then they'd be farther from their goal, right? I'm not saying they use every dollar correctly, you know. I'm saying that with more dollars, the possibility or the probability that this game comes out gets greater, right? So These are necessary to have in order for the game to get to the point to become an actual game with no bugs, with stability, with everything that makes a game a game.
Bundle containing many ships that don't exist yet. And in order to buy this,
and every time I see this, this is the narrative on like every YouTube content creator's channel. And it drives me insane because this is what everybody hears and nobody's saying what I'm saying. There's barely any content creators out there that come up with this counterpoint. I don't know of any. If you guys know of any, let me know, because I feel like I'm the only one besides Erad. I think Erad agrees with me, who's in my audience right now. I think Erad would agree with me, correct, Erad? He's Erad's like, okay, I'm out of here. I can't even watch this guy.
You have to be a member of like the top tier of the chairman's club, which is basically just a fancy way of saying that you have to have spent
tonight for
over
that
$10,000 in order to enter into the like tier of players that would be capable of acquiring this. IGN did some reporting on it and they described it as,
yeah, like Stunner says, have none of these people heard of Star Atlas? We're covering Star Atlas here too, and my God, they have $1 million NFT ships, for God's sake, that are all sold out, by the way. I think they had 4 or 5 of them at $5 million a pop, sold out. Okay, so like, get out of my face with the $46,000 ship thing. $5 million ships, okay, sold out. It'll be the new way to fund gaming. It'll be the new way to fund gaming, man.
It's adding even more to the price. The Legatus or Legatus, I don't know, 2953 pack seems to only be available to members of a certain tier of Star Citizen's Chairman Club, one which requires spending $10,000 on other in-game items to achieve. So it's 48,000, but you need to have spent 10,000 before that to be able to purchase it, which is wild. And they continue saying that this is far from the first time that they've done this. Star Citizen has been selling high-priced bundles to these guys for a long time, with each new year bringing it with an updated bundle, including even more new ships and a higher price tag to account for them. The intention of the bundle, according to Cloud Imperium back in 2018 when they talked about it, isn't necessarily to be an individual purchase for just any old Joe. Instead, it's as a, quote, package that players will use to...
Again, this is that narrative that like people are victims. You know, this is the popular narrative that gets the clicks, that gets these dudes paid. This is why they do it. They do it because they get paid from this narrative. They endorse this narrative, and they know that when they endorse this narrative, they'll make a certain dollar amount off of it. So like, what they're preaching is a terrible thing is exactly what they're doing. Like they're literally doing what they're accusing Cloud Imperium of doing. They're doing it, but in a way that I believe much more nefarious.
Deploy ships, items, etc. across organizations, corporations, and guilds, with many players effectively rolling over credit from buying cheaper prior bundles to get the new Legatus or Lagatus, I don't know, bundles for
I'm just a crazy bald guy.
A few $1,000s. Like, I understand they have all of these microtransactions available. I get that. But I mean, it's $48,000. Like,
it's a lot of money.
I feel like I don't need to explore this too much more to just like come to the conclusion that this is like...
That's okay. I did for you, buddy.
Kind of outrageous. I understand they're not expecting people to just add this.
I actually did. When I release this video, I will have like, you know, maybe a couple hundred views, but this guy has now 33,464 views on his opinions. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube still, please push the like button so that, you know, maybe YouTube can wake the fuck up and help us out a little bit here so that our voice gets out there. Maybe a little bit. Let's be effective. Let's be productive. So like we don't keep getting this shit. No offense. Again, you know, I understand that that's quite offensive to say, but you know, that's what I do. I tend to offend, not on purpose, really, just my opinion.
To their cart, you know, you do not have access to this item. It's because I haven't spent $10,000 on other stuff yet.
Thank you,
but
Zav.
they're not intending for just anybody to buy it. But still, it's crazy that in a game that doesn't exist yet in a final form, you're selling a $48,000 microtransaction. And even then, if the game had released That's still crazy. Imagine if Starfield came out and they're like, yeah, we're adding the Shattered Space DLC, but we also have a collection of all these crazy cool ships, and it's only like $48,000. And in order to get it, you need to have spent $10,000 on Creation Club credits. Sound good? Sounds good to me. It's crazy. Now, one thing they did allude to, which you might have caught, was that they intended this to mainly be purchased by organizations, corporations, and guilds. As I wake up from a hospital bed, I will talk about this. Basically, in Star Citizen, again, it's supposed to be a bit of a galaxy simulator.
For the millionaires,
they
sure,
expect that you are going to be like interacting with other players in multiple different ways. You might be interacting with them just to do missions together, but you might also be interacting with them to go and like join guild.
You know, there's a lot of people upset with me in my own chat that I'm continuing watching this video, but I kind of want to get to the point at which I can understand why this video has 35,000 views. We've just gone up another 1,000 views. So I'm just kind of curious why, and I'm sure there's something in this that will enlighten me.
And corporations and businesses, and what those would basically be is a group of 100 players that work together to like save up money for big ships that they can use to go out on even bigger and more lucrative missions.
Amount of rambling
and
from
so,
Saudi Mike,
just
man.
like in real life, you would be creating kind of small gangs or guilds of players that are working towards common goals, and that's a cool concept. I get that. And even if you had 480 people as part of a guild and they each pitched in $100 in order to buy this $48,000 bundle to get all the ships their guild could possibly need, it's still $48,000. Like, it doesn't change that fast. And a lot of that cost is inflated by ships like the Javelin. This is like a specialty in concept ship currently being built and tested for implementation in game, so it doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, I think I've explained myself pretty good on that one. So he's got a whole section here, 16 minutes to 26 minutes. He's literally spent an entire 10 minutes talking about insane pricing. Let's get to his closing thoughts. We're going to fast forward for everyone. I don't normally do this, but my audience demands that I fast forward through this. I will do that. You know, my audience being in the minority, you know, hey, 35,000 versus 36 viewers. We can do this. We can win this fight. We're in the Alamo right now. We are in the Alamo, everybody. Okay. Just realize that. We're going to win this fight. Okay. It won't go down like the Alamo did. I promise you. We're going to win this goddamn fight.
Many ways. Technologically speaking, they have rewritten entire engines to support the free travel across galaxies as they currently have it in the game. They also have other systems I haven't even mentioned yet, such as persistent entity streaming, meaning if you drop a water bottle on a random planet in a little groove next to a mountainside and you leave, play the game for another year and a half in real world time, you should be able to go back in a year and a half to that same spot where you dropped that water bottle, and it will still be in the game at that location. That's cool. The other way they're using that is like if a ship crashes, like I just did there, and that shipwreck is on the planet's surface, that becomes a scavenger mission basically for somebody else. So if they want to go and clean up that ship, they can get all sorts of scrap that they can then sell or use to upgrade their ships and stuff like that. There's all sorts of cool systems that they're adding in and weaving in using the tech that they've developed, and it is crazy impressive. But the reason they're able to do that is because they monetize the game in this hilariously outrageous way. And if literally any other company in the world tried to monetize—
Whoa. First off, nobody at the time was doing what they were doing. They basically made crowdfunding a thing for gaming. Like, you know, they haven't made their game yet in terms of it being finished, but they've raised $700 million, and they are a little bit revolutionary in the space when it comes to funding gaming. I think the next step is Web3, and we can see what Star Atlas has done in terms of funding their game with NFTs and crypto, for God's sake. Wow. It's like light speed in terms of funding gaming. It's crazy. It's just ridiculous, off the walls, bonkers mode. But like, you know, like this guy's completely dismissive of the fact that the Cloud Imperium, Chris, kind of set the golden standard for game funding through their own fan base. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big deal, man. It's craziness.
Monetize their game like this, they would be mocked into oblivion. But with Star Citizen, it's been around for so long that we're all just kind of used to it. So to break it all down, I don't think Star Citizen fits into the category of like a scam where they're just taking your money and not
Of course not. It's been around way too long. That scam argument, Jesus H on a pogo stick.
giving you anything for it. They have made a lot of progress, and there is a product there. Should you be spending $2,500 or $48,000 on microtransactions for a game that
if you're an adult, you make your own decisions with your money. Don't let this guy tell you what to do with your money. I mean, like, what in the hell?
doesn't exist yet? In my humble opinion, no.
Wow, dude, this dude's like telling you how to spend your money. Like, you know, hey, like, listen, do I think it's ridiculous to spend that kind of money? Yes, because I don't have it. There's plenty of people that have tons of cash that are going to put that down. And if they didn't do that, like I said earlier, they wouldn't have $700 million. There's a small percentage of people that have actual addictions and problems. It's probably 2%. I'm throwing a spitball out there. It's like my brain. That's the sound of my brain the entire watch time, Eric. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, man. That's how I've been trying to get through this entire video. I've had that noise in my head, and now it's physicalized out there, digitized for everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Here's the thing. The game itself would not have $700 million if those packages were out there. And a small percentage of the people have these addictions. The people like this and others, they'll take the narrative that people are victims, and you know, they, oh, whoops, $48,000 just dropped out of my bank account. You know, like, that's not how it works, man. But that's the narrative that gets these people money. How do you think you got that studio? What, Felix? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hugh's gifting tier 3 subs to people. Thank you, Hugh. God bless you, dude. St. Eric needs his button pushed here. Let's do a St. Eric and then a Hugh combination and a stunner combination. Holy God, this is great. Look at you guys. Thank you for supporting this channel. I love you. Welcome, Mayor, to the channel. Welcome to the fam. Welcome to the fun tonight. Appreciate you.
I am the God King, your king. Glory sing.
We're doing a 3-button combo, man. We're doing a St. Eric. We're doing a Hugh and a stunner combination.
Eric, sing, sing. Eric, sing, sing. Eric, sing, sing. Eric. Who is an upstanding gentleman?
Your sound effects all go together. That was a symphony of amazing right there. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
But if you were to do that, they do have a decent track record of delivering on those things that they've sold to people. It can take a while, but there's examples of people that, like Gus in that video back in 2015, bought ships. Those ships that they bought in 2015 are, as far as I'm aware, all in the game now. They're just adding more and more and more as time goes by, and then those take years to develop, and eventually they see the light of day, but usually only after they've sold it to people. But no matter what, Star Citizen has its defenders, because it does offer something that no other game does. It offers
the everything experience. Is it going to give us that? I hope so, or close to it. I got to manage my expectations though, right? But like, already from what I pledged personally in this game, I've gotten my money's worth. And that's cool with me.
Players the fully open-ended exploration of the galaxy in a grounded way that no other game has been able to even approach delivering. Other games like Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, or even Starfield have tried to do,
and they're not even close. They're not even close. And everyone always says those games are going to kill. There's always some title out there. Oh, this one's going to kill Star Citizen. Oh, this one's going to kill Star Citizen. Nope.
Do things somewhat similar, but Star Citizen is the only one that does what it does as well as it does it. That was a mess of a sentence, but the point is,
weight with you, bro.
There is a reason why Star Citizen players are so
tonight, bro.
entrenched.
Hope you win, man.
In this world, in the like purchases, in the game, in all of that. And there's a reason why for some people, Star Citizen is their hobby. It's not gaming. It's Star Citizen specifically. It's like this one girl I knew in college. She played The Sims so freaking much. It was like worrying, you know, like all the time some people out there might watch the NFL or FIFA or
it was also the only girl he knew in college. Sorry, that was mean. That was a little mean. That was a little mean. I apologize. That was mean. But anyway, let's see. Let's see here. Now the video has 36,600. Guy's killing it. The guy is killing it with this video. Wow. 2,000, literally 3,000 views since watching. It might have even been more than that. This whole watching experience, 3,000 views. Man, I mean, like, whoo, not quite sure what's going on with the channel over on DG360, but holy God, he's got some crazy recipe, man. I'm just gonna start making content just like this guy. No, don't worry. I will never do that. I am the biggest underdog on the internet. I will never explode. You guys are all underdogs with me. It's like rooting for the Cleveland Browns. You guys have like some pain receptors. I respect all of you. I respect all of you for being here and helping out in any way possible. We are all underdogs here. We will always be the underdogs. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's some camaraderie in that. And I appreciate everybody that's got that type of like strength. You guys got strength. Some chutzpah, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Some chutzpah.